Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into something that's really reshaping how businesses see you, the customer. We're talking about customer segmentation, customer profiling, but supercharged with artificial intelligence.
Exactly. It's a total transformation.
Yeah, we're moving way beyond just, age and postcode. We're getting into real behavioral insights, looking at how companies use this huge mix of data, what you click online, when you buy something in a store, all of it to build these really predictive profiles.
And our job today really is to unpack how this actually works, how AI does this deep profiling, but also, crucially, how it needs to handle data security. We'll get into some of the key techniques, things like multi-channel profiling or MCP and those clustering algorithms that you hear about.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because, segmentation used to mean pretty broad groups. If we're just talking about, say, K-means using transaction data, isn't that just like a fancy loyalty card system? What's the AI really adding here, especially with data scattered everywhere?
That's exactly the problem AI tackles. Old segmentation methods. They failed because the data was stuck in silos. Website behavior here, store purchases there. AI starts with what we mentioned, multi-channel profiling, MCP. That's step one. It pulls everything together. Purchase history, yes, but also browsing speed, device used, transaction times, even when you open an email. It creates one unified view.
Okay, so it gathers all the pieces first.
Right. And once you have that big pool of data, then the analysis kicks in. That's where clustering algorithms are key. K-means gets mentioned a lot, and for good reason. It's relatively simple, computationally speaking, and it scales incredibly well.
Scales, meaning it can handle massive amounts of data quickly.
Exactly. Perfect for spotting those initial broad patterns fast.
Hmm.
K-means might quickly group the late-night snack buyers, separate from the weekly big shop planners. It makes sense of the sheer volume and speed of data we see today. It gives you those first behavioral segments.
Okay, so K-means gives us the skeleton, maybe, the what and when of the transactions, but that can still feel a bit impersonal, maybe, predictable. Where does the nuance, the why, come from if we just stop there?
Yes. That's where natural language processing, NLP, comes in. That's the layer that adds the real depth. NLP is what lets the AI understand unstructured data.
Unstructured, meaning like text, actual words.
Exactly. Customer reviews, feedback forms, comments on social media, even transcripts from service calls, all the stuff that isn't just numbers.
Okay, now that sounds powerful. How do they work together then, K-means and NLP?
Well, that synergy is really the core of it. Imagine K-means flags a group buying a lot of a certain gadget. Looks like a valuable segment.
On paper, yeah, high spenders.
But then NLP analyzes the reviews from that specific group, and it finds they're all complaining about, say, terrible battery life. Instantly, the picture changes. Instead of pushing accessories for that gadget, the business knows it has a problem. Maybe offer a discount on a better model, or address the battery issue. It adds the emotional context to the transaction data. It tells you why they might act a certain way, not just what they did.
That's a huge leap. It moves you from just sorting data to actually understanding it strategically. Okay, so we see the mechanism. Let's talk about the payoff for businesses. Operational efficiency seems like a big one, freeing up people.
Absolutely. Think about the old way.
Analysts spending weeks, maybe, buried in spreadsheets, trying to manually connect dots between different systems.
Right. Painstaking work.
Yeah.
AI automates that whole profiling and initial segmentation part.
And the sources mention a pretty specific number for that time saving.
Yeah, the figure cited is cutting down processing time by as much as 30%. That's significant.
30%. So analysts aren't just data cleaners anymore. They can actually, think, focus on strategy.
Exactly. They jump straight to planning and execution. It really changes the whole dynamic of the team.
Okay, so it's faster. But does faster mean better results financially?
Well, that's the next piece. It's not just faster, it's smarter targeting.
Yeah.
Which leads directly to better return on investment.
How so?
Because these AI profiles are so detailed, so aware of sentiment, thanks to NLP, businesses can pinpoint those really high-value customers. The ones who are genuinely interested, likely to stick around, unlikely to leave.
Yeah.
Much more accurately than before.
So less wasted marketing budget.
Precisely. You stop spending money talking to people who aren't interested or who are actually unhappy with a product. And the sources suggest that this can boost marketing ROI, return on investment, by up to 20%.
20% ROI increase. That's substantial. It's moving from a shotgun approach to a laser beam, almost.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
We've talked a lot about the business side. Let's flip it. What about the experience for me, the customer? How does this translate into something, better. This seems to connect to personalized experiences, right?
Right.
Making things feel more relevant.
Definitely. And it's more dynamic personalization. Think back to that NLP analyzing reviews. If thousands of customers are suddenly saying they wish a shirt came in blue, the AI picks that up instantly.
Ah, so it's not waiting for a quarterly report.
No way. That insight feeds straight back into the recommendation engine, maybe influences future product design, or tailors marketing messages.
So the business can adjust almost in real time to what people are actually saying they want.
That's the idea. It moves personalization beyond just, sticking your name in an email subject line.
Okay.
It's about anticipating needs, sometimes even before you've clearly articulated them yourself.
Okay, that feels like a genuine benefit, but we have to talk about the data itself.
Yes, absolutely crucial. When you're collecting this much detailed behavioral information, security and privacy are massive concerns. You can't just innovate wildly, right? Compliance is key.
Paramount. Compliance assurance isn't optional. The desire for deeper insights cannot compromise data protection. And this is where the underlying technology, the infrastructure, really matters.
Like the databases they use? Exactly. The sources highlight secure, robust systems, mentioning PostgreSQL as an example.
Why something like PostgreSQL specifically?
Well, systems like that are typically chosen because they're built for what's called ACD compliance, that guarantees data validity, transactions are handled properly, and they have strong built-in encryption. These features are essential for handling PII, personally identifiable information, safely.
And that ties into regulations.
Directly. It's fundamental for complying with rules like GDPR in Europe or CCPA in California. If a business is building a profile on you, it has a legal and ethical obligation to protect that data using the best tools available, secure, scalable tools.
That makes sense. Protection has to scale alongside the profiling. And stepping back, are we seeing this approach actually work in the real world? Are there specific results?
Yes, the impact is being measured.
The sources mentioned retail as a key area seeing benefits beyond just the marketing ROI we discussed.
That's right. While it affects lots of sectors, finance, logistics, you name it, retail often shows the clearest customer-facing results.
And there was a specific report mentioned for 2025.
Yes, a report indicating that 65%, a significant majority of retailers using this kind of AI-driven segmentation, reported improved customer retention rates.
65% saw better retention. That's huge.
It is. When customers feel understood, when their needs are anticipated, they're much more likely to stay loyal.
So you combine that improved retention with a potential 20% ROI boost. You can see why companies are investing heavily in this. It's becoming less of an extra and more of a must-have.
It really is shifting towards operational necessity.
Okay, so where does this go next? If this is already happening, what's the future trajectory?
Well, it's building on this foundation but getting faster and smarter. The next big leap is likely around the speed of data processing. Real-time.
Real-time, more so than now.
Truly real-time data streaming. Right now, even advanced systems often work in near real-time batches. There might be a slight lag. The future is about systems adjusting strategy pricing, recommendations, messages literally in milliseconds based on live customer actions or market changes.
Wow, okay. And what about NLP? Can it get even better at understanding us?
Oh, definitely. Enhanced NLP is the other major frontier, moving beyond just positive or negative sentiment. We're talking about AI understanding things like context, sarcasm, regional language differences, getting much closer to how a human understands nuance.
So if I sarcastically say, great product, thanks, about something terrible.
The enhanced NLP should flag that as negative, despite the positive words. It won't mistakenly boost the product's score. It adds that deeper layer of comprehension.
That's quite sophisticated.
It is. But underpinning all that future tech, the real-time speed, the deeper understanding, that need for secure, scalable databases, that remains absolutely critical.
So faster insights, deeper understanding, but always balanced with privacy and security.
That's the ongoing challenge, yes.
Yeah.
Balancing innovation with responsibility will define the next phase.
This has been fascinating, a real look under the hood at how AI is changing the game for consumer insights. I think the big aha for me is that combination K-means doing the heavy lifting on behavior patterns and then NLP adding that crucial layer of why, the emotional context.
That synergy is key.
And that's what unlocks things like the 30% efficiency gain, letting people focus on strategy, and drives that potential 20% ROI lift. It connects the dots.
Absolutely. It turns data into actionable intelligence. Which leads us to maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Given that AI is getting so good at understanding sentiment from things like reviews and using these instant feedback loops to personalize everything, Does this change how we even think about brand loyalty?
Mm, how so?
Well, if a brand is constantly adapting, almost in real time, to meet your specific, immediate needs and preferences based on this deep understanding, what does being loyal to that brand actually mean anymore? Is the loyalty shifting from the consumer to the brand's ability to constantly adapt to the consumer?
Wow, that's yeah. If the brand is always meeting you exactly where you are, maybe the traditional concept of loyalty just dissolves. Something to definitely think about. A really provocative question to end on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We hope this gave you some valuable insights into the world of AI-driven customer profiling. We'll catch you next time.